Hello there, health coaches. Today is going to be a little bit different than usual because typically, I'm like a real get or done kind of person, but even I have moments, yes, moments of needing a certain softness, a certain relaxation. It's like we can't just push all the time in our businesses, and especially not as health coaches. I don't even know if other industries how they get away with it, but as health coaches we cannot do that. We have to walk our talk. So today we're going to be talking about the more feminine aspect of starting a business or giving birth to your business, so to speak, meaning full of power, but also full of self-awareness and necessary relaxation. So if you're here live with us, go ahead and say hello in the comments. We're always glad when you join us. And Katie is with me today to help me out on this topic because Katie helps me in my business to stay relaxed and tap into my inner knowledge. And maybe today we'll even share parts of our own actual childbirth stories as well as business stories. But anyway, Katie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me. It's always fun.
I mean, there's no better person to talk about this topic with. I feel like you bring that energy that I sometimes lack. We've talked about this, very yin and yang.
Very yin and yang. Yes. Yeah. Work very well together. I love it. Love it. Love it.
And you need both, right? Like for a successful business, you can't just have one or the other. I would have burned out many, many years ago if I wasn't able to also find a way to breathe into the whole
Breathe.
process.
Got to breathe. Can't not breathe. Yes.
Well, let's all breathe now. And we know that a successful health coaching business relies on this, relies on your health and happiness being intact. And that's why we're adding a whole new component to this year's fast track semester. We want you to have a business doula of sorts. So we're going to be offering all the same hard-hitting business growth tactics as we always do, plus a way for you to get the personal support that you need along the way. So the waitlist is open now for Fast Track. You can put your name on that puppy for free. You'll get access to the very best bonus package. There's no obligation at all. Just go put your name on it now. It's at healthcoachpower.com/waitlist. Like I said, we're going to have this sort of business doula aspect to Fast Track this time around. Before we hit record earlier, Katie and I were just discussing, like, if we had doulas when we were giving birth. So what was your experience like, Katie?
Oh my gosh, it's such a long time ago. My kids are in their 20s, right? Doulas were a brand new thing with my second daughter. And I was very excited. My first birth did not go as planned. There was a football game and there were onions and there were forceps.
Gross.
And we're not even going to talk about that. But my second one, I said, I'm going to get a doula. And I actually looked for like a hard hitting kind of doula because I was like, I don't want someone who's going to get all wishy-washy and let me have the drugs that I don't want to have. I want someone who's going to say, no, you can do this. No, you can do this. And my doctor, he even said, don't you want, or the nurse, she said, don't you want the nicer doula that's in that practice? And I said, no. This is exactly what I need.
Yin and yang.
Exactly. Right. That's exactly what it was. I needed someone who wasn't me. And so one thing leads to another, go to the doctor and he says, well, we have to deliver your baby right now. So we did not have a labor. I did not get to have my doula, focus me. She took videos. And that was nice to have, videos of your C-section. How many people get that? But I was really looking forward to having someone because my husband is great. I love him. We've been married almost 30 years.
Wow.
But this was not his role. This is not a role that he would have excelled in. And I love that I recognized that. And I went out and looked for something that was going to help me be that counterpoint, that yin and yang. Yeah. What about you, Michelle?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that about your husband, because I think if we think about our businesses often, and I'm not saying this about your husband, Katie, or about anyone in particular, but often our spouse, our closest friends and family can be the worst at helping us with our own business. And it helps so much to have that third party, to have someone come in and help you, as opposed to someone who you live with, who's just like, what are you doing? When are you ever going to get your business going? How come you're just fussing around on Facebook all day?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised that he wasn't a great help. I sort of had the opposite story with because I also have two kids, and my first was a C-section, where you just don't know what you don't know when you're new to anything. right?
Yes.
When you're new to your business, you don't know what you don't know. And so things went all wrong for me with that. And I was very unhappy with the first birth, although he is a beautiful child. And with my second, though, then I knew what I didn't know, or I knew a lot more in general. So I did hire a doula. I had the chiropractor. I had the acupuncture. I had all the things. And I did actually have like the birth of my dreams. So it made a world of difference. And my doula was the best, the best. She even made me a placenta smoothie for anyone who's into that kind of stuff.
I am so jealous. I wanted a placenta smoothie.
I think you and, a handful of people listening to this are about the only people on the planet who would say that. But I'm with you.
Right.
I am with you. But, this kind of goes back to this idea of having a plan, a birth plan, right? Because I had this big old birth plan for my first son's birth, and then that went kapooey. And then I had a plan for my second, and that went a lot better. But when you have a plan, with birth, as in so many other things in life, things don't always go according to plan. And I think birthing our business is similar in that way. Would you agree?
Absolutely. 100%. I don't know anyone, all the students that we've worked with, I don't know anyone whose business has gone from point A to point B exactly like they expected.
Yes. I mean, how many times do you think something's going to work out really well and it bombs, and then something else is like, oh, I never thought that was going to catch fire. Oh, there's interest here. How cool.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you talk about it all the time. We have this impression where I'm going to put up my website and then I'm going to have a full practice. Everyone's just going to come and get me. And that's the expectation. And it doesn't happen. And then you're like, but I have the website, but I have a birth plan.
Yes.
I have this birth plan. How come the baby's not paying attention? I mean, the baby can't read the birth plan, can she?
That's right. And your business isn't necessarily going to happen overnight just because you're like, now my website is ready, or now I got my domain name or my logo, right? Sometimes we think as long as we've got that logo all set, we are just going to smooth sailing from here on out. And that is just like thinking that you're going to get to your 40th week and your baby's going to be born on that day that your doctor told you.
Your due date, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't they call that a due week?
Oh gosh, mine was like my first baby went to 42 weeks. I was enormous.
You're so tiny, Michelle.
It was hilarious. But yeah, our birth plans do not go according to plan very often. And it is the exact same way with business. So we need to be flexible. How is this come into play for you in your business? Like, when have you had to be flexible and maybe you didn't want to be in the first place?
I mean, when have I not had to be flexible? When has your internet goes out and you've got this big day of either meetings or calls, or like everything's online now. Very back at the beginning, when I first started out, I had everything on my hard drive. So that would be okay if internet went out, but I store all my documents online. If I don't have internet, I have nothing. So I need a backup plan. Okay. I need to go to Starbucks or the grocery store, have somewhere else to work. Technology. Oh my gosh. How stressful. I'm getting even stressed talking about it. Is technology when I'm going to press this button on Facebook and we're going to go live and it's going to go over here and then it doesn't work and everyone's watching. And then your stress level just builds and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't tell you how many times technology has tripped me up and made me feel about this small. And it's really hard to bounce back from something like that, especially if you're working in a vacuum. Because for the first 5-6 years of my health coaching career, I didn't have anyone else. I didn't have a community. I didn't have a course. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anything like that. So if I did something wrong, I was the only one in the world who did the wrong thing. I had no one to tell me, not just you, Katie. No one can get Facebook to work. Zuckerberg changes it all the time. Like, I didn't have that. So that's why I love your community, because we get that and we can talk to each other and we can do that. And I'm so excited for Fast Track, where we're going to have that opportunity to do it in a much magnified manner when you're in the thick of it and you're making your freebie and the technology isn't working, or you don't understand, you can't get your headline right. not just the technical aspect of it, but the stressful part, the part that makes you want to go cry in the corner.
When you're talking about this, it's reminding me of my first mommy group. So did you have a mommy group like when you first became a mom?
La Leche League. Yep. And then Gymboree. We
Yep.
had two. Yes.
Right, La Leche League. Oh my gosh, I still have La Leche League members on my mailing list that I met when I walked in there and became
awesome.
friends with because I was just sobbing, right? Like, say, I think I'm the only one who's having trouble with breastfeeding, or I'm the only one that's having whatever trouble getting my kid to do anything. My first baby was one who only slept in a stroller. So I walked for about 4 hours a day as he napped, his 2 big naps of the day, all around where I used to live in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia. It was a lovely walk, but let me tell you, it was hot. And I thought, I am the only person having these problems. And that's where the mommy group kind of came in. You're right. Our community here is a little bit like that. We're all doing the same thing. Everyone's trying to figure it out at the same time.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. My La Leche League group was great. I had horrible trouble breastfeeding, and everyone else seemed to do it like that, milk squirting out all over the place. That was not me. So it was really nice to see other women crying over not being able to do that. And it just makes you feel better. It makes you feel more confident. Whereas the lactation consultant said, I can't make your baby latch. That's the mommy part. You need to get her calm down. Like, wow, even this, professional, she's like all about the mechanics and no empathy whatsoever. She's like, nope, you just got to do it. And like, it was impossible because I needed someone to give me a hug, to tell me it was going to be okay, to tell me my baby was not going to starve. And that formula, whereas it's not, what I wanted, it was there, it was not the end of the world. And there's another path that a lot of times you can't see when you're so caught up in where you are.
Oh, and doesn't that just happen all the time in our businesses too? We get people
Yeah.
all the time, like inside mentorship or HPU students who are like, I have to figure this thing out and it's driving me crazy and I can't figure it out. And it's like, actually, do you even need to do that? And oftentimes we can just eliminate the problem so quickly. And I love that because that's the power of having that lactation consultant or the older sister, just someone who's been there and done that and can be like, actually, you're stressing about the wrong thing. Like, you can relax around this.
Yep.
If anyone who is watching, by the way, has their own birth stories or can think of other ways that giving birth to a child is similar to giving birth to your business, throw your thoughts into the comments, because first of all, I'd love to hear your birth stories because I am just a total birth nerd after going through my own experiences, but there is just so many crazy parallels. And I think that if for those, of course, not every health coach has had a baby, but for those of you who have, or you've been with someone who's had a baby, or, someone in your family has gone, you've gone through the childbirth process with, draw from that energy. We can draw from that sort of mama power that comes out. And sometimes you don't think it's going to. Like, I remember getting very overwhelmed especially with my second pregnancy, because I had the midwife telling me exactly like how I needed to eat and how I needed to take like 3 walks a day and how I had to do this. And if I wanted to have, she was right, by the way, it all worked. But I had a lot of overwhelm with like all the stuff I had to do, plus take care of my older son. So overwhelm is another thing that comes up in building business, of course. How have you dealt with that, Katie? Katie, you are on mute. I cannot hear you.
Okay,
There you
back.
are.
Yeah, what happened there? Computer technical glitches. Yeah. So other than crying in the corner, you mean, Michelle, how have I dealt with the overwhelm? Because I've got to tell you, that's the number one. Seeking out someone who understands, who can listen, and like you said, nope, that's not important. Or what are you kidding me? You're the best person I've ever seen do that. Why are you stressing over that? So a lot of times we don't even appreciate our gifts. And I know that I've done that quite often. I'm so focused on what I don't have, like what I don't have. The business mechanics is definitely not something that is innate to me. I have to try and practice, but connecting and communicating with people, that is something that comes more naturally to me. So me stressing over a communication, I need someone in my ear telling me, you're really good. You can do that. This is easy. This is not something that you need to stress about. If you really want to stress, I think sometimes we like to stress about things. I don't know. Sometimes
What
I
is
like that.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes overwhelm is welcome, but when I'm done with with it being okay, like I said, seeking someone out, to listen, following a process does not help me with overwhelm. It just kind of adds to the pile when I'm already feeling overwhelmed. When
Mm.
I can clear all that out of my head and say, okay, now I'm ready for what comes next. Then I love a good process, a good list, like cross things off. But when you're in the middle of overwhelm, or when I'm in the middle of overwhelm and I see that in front of me, I just want to go cry in the corner.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, and that is where like the doula comes in, right? The doula is not there to be like, and you have to do this and you have to do that. The doula is like, how are you feeling? And you're like, "Blah." But this is
Yes.
necessary. This is so necessary because I think we get so locked up. I mean, physically, really, literally, when it comes to childbirth, but even just in our businesses, we get really locked up when we're in that overwhelmed state. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. And I know for myself, that's when I start making mistakes. That's when my health starts suffering, my sleep suffers, when I let myself stay locked up. So we need to be able to find someone or something that gives us that kind of feeling.
Yes. It's going to be okay. Someone else can see what I can't. That's that main part of it. I think that other people can have that bird's eye view and can look down and say, you're fine. Yeah, it feels crappy right now. The baby's going to come. You're going to get that opt-in page done. Your email list, it's going to work for you. It's all going to be okay. And if for some reason this iteration isn't working, then we move on to something else. You can't birth on your back. Let's move to all fours. The same kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, on this topic of overwhelm, this is reminding me we have a free community event coming up. It's called Building Your Health Coaching Business Without Overwhelm. And I love doing these community events. We did one a couple of months ago. It was a huge hit. So if you missed that, or if you were there, you know how much fun that was. It's a casual gathering. It's not like a slideshow presentation type of thing. It's very much, let's meet, let's talk, let's meet each other. Let's have like actual community. I mean, I wish we could do these in person, but it is going to be held on Zoom just like last time. And you can sign up for that at healthcoachpower.com/community. Again, that's building your health coaching business without overwhelm. We'll spend more time here talking about how to avoid that overwhelm and keep yourself grounded, but very much goes in line with what we were just talking about. Cindy wrote here in the comments that her first child took 18 hours from the time her water broke, and her second only took 4 hours, and she barely got to the hospital in time. That is perfectly timed. Thank you, Cindy, because I wanted to talk about how in business, as in childbirth, sometimes it takes much, much longer than you thought it would, and then it speeds up all of a sudden. I guess this goes back to being flexible, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
But so true. Like you're like, oh my God, are we there yet? Kind of thing. I remember with my first baby, I had been in labor for 24 hours and they're like, you're still at 2. I'm like, what? I mean,
No.
really, the flames that just shot out of my face, I'm like, you have to be kidding me. And it can feel that way. And how many of you have been in business for a while? You started seeing your first health coaching clients maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, or maybe many years ago, but you're still not where you thought you would be. Like it can take longer, but then sometimes, boom, bunch of clients fall in your lap at once, or boom, you get this great opportunity that just kind of came out of nowhere. Who was I just talking to? One of our HPU members. Oh, that's right. When Isabella and I were talking just on the podcast last week about how she's got this possible corporate opportunity. That could be nothing. That could be like, you're still at 2. Or that could be like the biggest boom that ever happened to her business. That's an unknown right now. But that does kind of just come out of the blue sometimes, which is exciting, but also
overwhelming.
Yes,
Scary.
terrifying.
How do I deal with this now? I have had no time to get ready. And it's usually something that you have to do right now. And you really feel overwhelmed. I've had a few things like that where 5 people contact me and are like, okay, we all want to start now, right now, this week. And I'm like, oh, well, I had, I was going to go to the beach and I was going to go for coffee. I had lunch plans. That's the flexibility of being a health coach. You don't have a lot going on. And sometimes you can make time for that. but all right, let's clear that all out, make room for everyone, reorganize. I mean, that's what being your own CEO is constantly about, right? Reorganizing and being okay with it.
Yes. And might I say, motherhood as well. Oh,
Yep.
somebody pooped their pants. Okay, we're not going to do that. We are going to go clean up. Oh, someone's hungry. Okay, change of plans. I mean, it's like pivot, pivot, pivot. So
Yep.
for the mothers in our community, you're all like very well suited for this. I really, really think health coaching and motherhood go well together because you're well trained in that flexibility, in the pivoting, in the oh no, diaper overflow kind of moments, like, and handling it. Right. And that
Yes.
sometimes it's like that, even if those moments are like yourself just overflowing with frustration or overflowing with, the overwhelm. Melissa's saying she's been coaching for 6 years now and she wants to get off the roller coaster. Melissa, here's my question for you. What about childbirth can you see reflected in your business birthing? What can you learn from how women give birth, which is, my goodness, the most amazing, like, incredible, miraculous thing that we could possibly do, right? And then say, okay, if we can do that, we can do this. If we can bring, life into the world, I'm pretty sure we could get that opt-in page up, or we could start that mailing list. It starts to feel like small potatoes, doesn't it? So that's what I want everyone to do, like reach into that inner power that we all have and let's use it. Like, sometimes you haven't run a business like this before. I never did before I started. It's not like I had another coaching business or another online business or something before I got into this. And I'm like, what's going on? But you have these transferable skills.
Yes. And parenthood and running your own business, you're exactly right. So many parallels. Even the birth, you think, okay, I had the baby. That's just the beginning. You get your first few clients, you get your business rolling the way it is. And then, well, then you want to grow, or is it going to go in this direction? It's constant. And having tools so that you don't give in to that overwhelm, or don't always feel like things are beyond your control, even though they are. You just don't have to feel that way. Like, it's a great lesson to start doing at the start rather than when you get like super successful.
Melissa's saying, stages I went through in pregnancy and now being a mom. So I guess likening the stages of pregnancy and motherhood to stages of business.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember lots of different stages in my business. Looking back on the past 13 years, there was like the stage where I was still teaching yoga and I was doing a lot in the yoga studios. There's a time when I thought I would be a health coach for yogis, which is hilarious because every yogi I knew was broke and they spent all their money on yoga classes. So there was no room for health coaching in that world. There's just been all these different phases like that. You're exactly right. Just like in raising kids or babies, right? Because don't babies change dramatically, like just 1 week to the next?
1 week to the next. You can
Oh my
really see that
goodness.
on Instagram stories, right? You follow a baby and, oh my gosh, weren't they just like this big? And yeah, harder to see when it's your own baby. And I think that's true about your business too. You don't really
Ooh.
realize how far you've come. You kind of need to look back, like you were just talking about the yogis. Where was I right out of health coach school? How did that start? What was I doing? Was I uber focused on that website? Or was I open to, all right, now I need some more business sense, because, the health coach school doesn't really provide too much of that. At
Yeah.
least
Oh
mine
gosh.
didn't.
The first things I did out of health coach school, I remember holding cooking classes in my kitchen. And not only was I not whatever kitchen certified or whatever like the proper
Yeah.
thing is
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
if you're going to be serving food. I mean, I didn't even think of it. It didn't even cross my awareness that might be a thing. I didn't know what I didn't know. And in some ways that's glorious because you just take messy action, but it's funny to look back on how far how far we've all come.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that point in childbirth. And I remember this point in my second son's birth where you think it is not doable. This is not going to happen. And actually,
Transition.
I'm glad that Melissa's here, because I remember, Melissa, when you were like, I just feel like I'm going to give up. Like, it's either I'm going to do this thing or I am going to give up now. And that is the same feeling in many ways. Transition, that's what they call it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You look at your husband or you look at whoever. I remember doing it and I was like, it's never ever going, he's never coming out. And
Mhm.
that's when they were like, oh, reach down, you can feel the baby's head. And I'm like, no kidding. No kidding, right
Don't
there.
have to reach down to do that.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it was like he was crowning. I had no idea. So in business, yes, like who has been there where you're like, throwing in the towel. This is it. We are done here. Have you hit those points? Or I should say, how many times have you hit those points?
I mean, I can think of 4 distinct times when I hit those points in my life, in my health coaching career. And yeah, I was done. There was still something tying me to it. Oh, I don't want to give up my really great practice better rate just in case I change my mind. But everything else, I was like, nope, not talking to anyone about anything health coaching. I'm going to go have an ice cream sundae right now, because I don't even want to think about healthy food or health or anything like that. So yeah, the really easy to fall into that place. Especially, like I said, I had no support at the beginning. It was me and my computer in my daughter's playroom, in my kids' playroom.
Yeah, it used to be me at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
So let's remember that the point at which you think, I cannot do this, is a transitional point. And it likely means that you are ready to change something about the way you're approaching your business, something you're going to open up to in a new way, because what you are currently doing doesn't feel like it's working. Like, this is the growth, where the growth really happens, where you're going to go, well, I did A, B, and C, but I never tried D. Now's the time. And things are going to open up for you. I think that's really important. But there's always that analogy with like a seed, or turning into, you think life is over, but that's actually when it's just beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
phrasing this correctly. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah.
You guys have all seen the memes.
Yes. Yep. Looks like nothing's happening. And then poof, there it is, like almost like magic. Because you need that time to kind of percolate. I mean, isn't this what we talk about to our clients? I know I working in the weight loss field for a big chunk of my career. People would say, I'm not losing weight. I'm not losing weight. And I would say, it's coming. And then they would be like, oh my gosh, my pants are down 2 sizes in 3 days. It's just,
Wow.
boom. It's like maybe not that much, but yes.
I was gonna say that's kind of a lot. But yeah, it's that it is that it's I think it's like total destruction has to come first. Like, we're to a seed, it's total destruction, but that's the beginning of the plant growing. So when it feels like I'm going to throw in the towel, you're ready to destroy your business. Yes. Or when you're like, this baby is never coming out, put it back inside me and let's just go home. Like, it's just very interesting how we hit those points, don't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Caterpillars too. The seeds, right? And caterpillar has to
Yes.
die to become the butterfly. Like, there's no
Yes.
caterpillar anymore.
So
It
maybe we
doesn't.
just lean into it when we're
Yep.
having those moments. All right, I'm a hot mess and I'm crying in the corner, or everything's just going wrong with everything I'm trying to do in my business, or how come I'm not growing? I've been doing this for 6 years, right? There's going to be like that crack where you see the light and you're like, well, let me try that. And that's going to lead you in the next direction. Oh, there's so many analogies. I am loving talking childbirth. I want to talk about one more aspect because I think it's the key, the key to all of it. Everything seems to work better when we relax, right? That's why they give you the epidural, to relax everything and just let it open up, although that did not work in my first pregnancy. And I don't think there's any type of epidural for business. Do you know of anything like that?
I have not come across anything like that, Michelle.
No,
Can't say that I have.
unfortunately, they haven't been researching drugs for us to get past those business blocks.
No.
But what helps us relax, here's one that I do. I cancel something. There's something I'm planning to do. And I notice that every time I think about it, it gives me an icky feeling inside. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, all the time. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or, you have a task or you have a project or even a client, but it's like, just, dragging on you. Sometimes the most productive thing to do is to actually cancel it, and I'll wipe it off my calendar. I'll cancel that obligation or whatever it is. And it frees up my energy, and then things can flow again. So that's one
Yes.
way that, like, especially if you're very busy, you don't have to do it all, and sometimes if you can get rid of the things that are really draining you, that's going to help out a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we
Yes.
see coaches all the time who are uh, all amped up, worried, stressed out. You can even tell when someone just types in the Facebook group that they're in that state. And you're
Mhm.
always so good at working with them. What is the magic behind that decompression that you do?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think having been in that place so many times myself and having to like talk myself out of it, I think that that's part of it. And then that like honest understanding that like we are all awesome. Like if you're looking at someone in front of you and you know that they are awesome, they can feel that. They can feel
Oh,
that total acceptance where anything that you do is going to be okay and you don't have to worry that something's going to be wrong. I think that's where a lot of that negative energy in business comes from, is that we're going to do the wrong thing. We're going to ruin our revenue. We're going to put something out there that's going to be embarrassing. And just getting in front of someone who says, "No, you're great. You're great. You're great. Should you change a little bit in your opt-in page? Sure, maybe, but that doesn't mean that you're not great." I think that's kind of like the underlying message that I think when I type. I don't know if that maybe comes through that
oh,
way.
it definitely comes through. Definitely. You're such a way with, yeah, just kind of taking that fire that's burning and minimizing it for somebody, or putting it out entirely. And then they go, whew. And I think we all need that. So that's a beautiful thing we can all do for our clients, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Everything works better when we can relax. So we do have two opportunities for you. I don't want to be confusing here, but I do want to repeat them. So whatever stage you're at in your business, we have something for you. If you are ready to put the pedal to the metal, build your business in 2022, make it profitable, do the thing. If now's your time, I want you to put yourself on the wait list for Fast Track. We're only doing it once this year, and you want to be on the wait list in order to get first crack at it and the best bonus package. And we're going to be offering a sort of business doula aspect to the program to take care of you the whole way through. So the waitlist is at healthcoachpower.com/waitlist. I have to remember, like, I have to pay attention that I'm saying the URLs correctly. They get jumbled up in my mouth. healthcoachpower.com/waitlist. Now, on the other hand, if you're not sure, or if you are stuck in that overwhelm, oh my gosh, don't give me anything else to do because I am already up to here, or I am just starting, I don't know what's appropriate for me right now, it's cool. We got you. We've all been there. And for that, I want you to make sure and join us for our upcoming community event, Building Your Health Coaching Business Without Overwhelm. Katie will be joining me for both of these. If you want to be there for the community event live with us, we will be doing this on April 5th. And you can sign up at healthcoachpower.com/community, entirely free. And we can't wait to meet you there.
So excited
Katie,
about that. Yeah.
I'm happy we're doing this again because the last community event was awesome.
It was so awesome. Yes.
We like being able to meet you. We would like to, we would like to be able to meet more of you. So let's put that on the calendar if it's not already there for you on April 5th. And Melissa wrote here, she's trying to focus on what is working, practicing gratitude, and also her other yoga business that's doing really well. So that's a great example of businesses going through stages. You'll look back at some point and be like, oh, remember when my yoga business was doing really well, but I wasn't doing this other thing yet?
Yeah.
So it's just part of the process. Cindy's saying, thank you for the meetup. Yes, I can't wait to meet up with you guys. Katie, thanks so much for joining me today. It's been fun to talk about our babies. I got one of my babies downstairs now because he had a half day at school. So I'll go give him a hug.
Oh, my
He was
kids are
my
not
second.
here. I can't do that. Darn it. I'm gonna have to go find
No.
them.
Oh, it's nice to see this side, right? Like,
Yeah.
where it's always the mailing list and the target markets and stuff. But
Well,
we are creators.
we can't do that if we don't have the other part. You can't just be a business. You have to have like more in your life, well-rounded, fulfilling. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's a really good point. And I also think it makes us better coaches because our clients are not one-sided either.
No.
They've got all, it's not just the diet. It's not just the what did you eat today? There's so much more to them as well.
More. Yes.
Always
Okay.
a pleasure. Thanks for being here. And thanks for joining us, you guys. We'll be back next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.